Hello everybody, welcome to this much requested video, another look at a full marks answer from the 2017 AQA English Literature exams. Thank you to Joshua for sending all of his work to me. This is his Jekyll and Hyde answer. He achieved 30 out of 30. Now in today's video I want to look at a very popular topic, which is how much should I be writing about context in my answers. Now there's no hard and fast rule to this. I don't want you to look at this video and say that's how much I have to write, but I do think it is very useful to look at someone who's been there and done that and got full marks to sort of look at how they approached the same topic. As you know, if you're studying AQA English Literature at GCSE, context is assessed in every section of the literature exams except for the unseen poetry questions. It would be unfair to ask you to assess context when you weren't aware of where the poem came from or when it was written, that kind of thing. So because context is assessed, it's important to write about it, but on the flip side of that, it is only worth 6 marks, and I think that it is very easy to write too much about context, to write almost the whole kind of bulk of your answer about context, particularly when you're studying a text which is very much driven by the historical context, something like Animal Farm, for example, where to understand the text we need to know a lot of the context, but we don't want to write about too much of it in the exam. It's very, very difficult. What's the balance? Well, what you can see on the screen is Joshua's full marks answer. Now, I've crossed out everything that's not about context, and I've done that for 2 reasons. I know a lot of you would love to see full marks answers, but I wanted to tell you why I'm not showing you the full answer. Number one, because, okay, if you're in year 11, you've probably done your mocks, but not everybody watching my videos is in year 11, and I don't want to give away what might be your mock question and an example answer to that question on this video, because else you could just regurgitate that in your mocks and then you wouldn't get a fair representation of your ability and it wouldn't be useful because you'd have just used what you saw in this video. But the other thing is this: I don't want to show you a full answer and say this is a full marks answer from the exam and you to think, oh, that's how I have to answer the question, because we can all go about questions in a different way. And I don't want you to look at this and think, okay, what Joshua did, these 3 different small sections about context, that's what I have to do. You have to write in your own way, you have to answer the question primarily, but you do need to bring in some context. I've heard it said to drip feed in the context where relevant. Another thing to say is that you will get no marks for just telling the examiner what you know about the context of when the text was written. You have to put in relevant contextual factors that answer the specifics of the question. Okay, so it's not just like, tell me what you know about Victorian society. It's how is what you know about Victorian society relevant to this text, for example. And you know, if you've got my revision guide or you watch my videos in the literature playlist, that context in itself, AO3 context, is being interpreted in a much wider way in this exam series than just what was going on at the time the text was written. So make sure you watch those videos. But what I do want to point out when we look at this visually on screen is that you can see there are 3 examples. This was just a little line that was started then finished. So there's 1, 2, 3 examples of context in this answer, and they're all about a sentence or 2 in length. And I'm going to go through all 3 examples. If you're watching this in a class, I would really encourage you to discuss how is each example better than the previous example, because the first comment on context was awarded a level 4, the next one a level 5, and the final one a level 6. In the comments section also, let me know, what do you think makes the second one better than the first and the third one better than both of them? Now, Joshua's handwriting is a little bit difficult to read at times, and the examiner's sort of box crosses out some of the answer, so you have to just bear with me as we try and read through this. But do think about how much context is mentioned and what makes each following contextual point better than the previous one, and let's jump right in. So the first thing to say is that the first contextual comment was in the introduction to the answer, and it was an introduction which actually got straight into answering the answer. This was awarded a level 4. In the Victorian era, society was rapidly changing with new theories such as evolution appearing. Stevenson uses the character of Jekyll as an embodiment of the ever-changing Victorian society and to show clearly the main idea of the novella that man is not truly one but truly two. So that was a contextual point about Victorian society changing and the changing society reflected through the character of Jekyll, and that was given a level 4. Comments in the comment section about why you think that was given a level 4. Just to say, by the way, this is the great thing about AQA. They don't say, oh, well, you only got a level 4 in that comment, so you can't get full marks. They reward what you do. They mark positively. So this answer got full marks, 30 out of 30, despite the fact that some of the comments were not full marks comments. That's a really, really good thing about this exam board. Okay, so this is the next contextual comment. It's a briefer comment, but it was given a level 5, so it was seen as being better than the one before it, and you can think about why that is and what makes this that little bit more impressive. It says, this is as many Victorian gentlemen like himself would put on a facade of someone uptight and moral in order for them to uphold their reputations. Okay, so there's another comment. This is a comment following a previous piece of analysis. So it's saying, following that analysis, let me just link that analysis to the context. And that's what is so important about context. You're answering the question, and the contextual points you bring in are part of your answer to the question. They're not just bolt on, let me show you what I know, but they're, and this happened because this is what was going on in society, is what we've got in this example. You don't have to write it that way, of course, but that's what we've got in this example. And the final comment, which was given a level 6 for context, is this. Hypocrisy was rife amongst Victorian men, with many claiming to be pious Christians but yet committing sinful acts at night. Stevenson may have chosen to explore the theme of hypocrisy as he wanted man not to try to be something they're not, but instead acknowledge the fact that man is commingled out of good and evil, and that we all make mistakes. Okay, so if we look at this full answer, there are 3 comments on context. They're awarded level 4, a level 5 and a level 6, but this student, Joshua, got full marks in the exam. Put your comments in the comments section what makes each one better than the previous one, and be aware that you only need to drip feed in small amounts of context to achieve those 6 marks, relevant to the question. Make sure they're a relevant part of your answer, not just showing what you know about the context.